Hello, we are Lines in the Sky. I'm Jesse Brock, and I'm the primary songwriter, and I play guitar, and pretty much everything. 15 steps away from safety. I'm going to start down there with my brother, that's Bo Brock. He's been playing drums for about 3 or 4 years now, which is kind of awesome. He excels at everything he does. Like, we'll give him a beat, he just learns. He's awesome. One of the best drummers I've ever played with. Next to him we have Stephen Bates, who is my other lead rhythm guitar player. Steve and I went to high school together.
I had just bought my first guitar. This was freshman year, and it was a Razorback. It's a pretty metal guitar. And Jesse Brock comes up, being Jesse Brock. It's like, hey man, can I see your guitar? And I'm like, sure man, you're Jesse Brock, you can play awesome music. Picks it up, first thing he says without even like plucking a string, oh, it's probably out of tune. He plays it, it's like, yep, it's out of tune. You need new strings too. Gives it back to me, walks off laughing. I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me, man. And that's how he and I met, and we became friends later, so it's all right.
Here we have my best friend, Zach Wakefield. Zach and I have been playing since my sophomore year. He was 14, I think, when we started playing, and we played in a kind of a metal band for a while, and I admired his speed chops, tremolo speed chops on the guitar. And after Steve joined this band, that metal band just kind of died out, and Zach decided to come in and play bass. He had played bass for me before, and he thought it'd be good for him, and it's worked out great. The way we write our music now, I think it's different than what a lot of other people are doing, and we're trying to bring back that kind of living element that sometimes people lose when they write music. And like I said, the very organic, alive bass, that's something that not a ton of people do.
Usually he'll just come to us with a new song, and we'll be like, yeah, we really like that. So he'll usually just like tab it out, and we'll just go home, and at least I will. I'll go home and just look at the tabs and just play the song over and over again until I get it solid and bring it to the table next practice.
He usually just comes in there and shows me it, and I can usually play it to an extent.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes some woodshedding on his part, but I'll be like, hey, got this new crazy idea. And he'll be like, oh, all right. And then we'll go in there and I'll show him, and usually he's just kind of like, oh, this is so stupid, but really he knows this is pretty chill and this is cool. So, and he'll sit there and woodshed it, and then what he does is he makes it his own. You know, you'll hear on like Double Plus Good, there's a lot of just like little embellishments that he does that I was like, oh, that's so cool, I would have never thought of that. So he does a good job at expanding what I give him. I think that's a great way to write. When I hear our music, it's like I'm watching a living thing, and it's different than anything else I've ever done. So I guess you could say we're bringing back life. We're bringing that kind of life into our music that a lot of other people have lost. You will never see the day getting closer, but your honesty is We were working with Gabe on our EP, the Double Plus Good EP, and I don't know, I thought it was a great experience. We did things a little differently from our end. I recorded this stuff, but bringing it in, Gabe really, a lot of times, there was a couple of times where he just did something that I was like, I need to tell him that we want to add this in there, but he went ahead and did it without me even thinking about saying it to him. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So he was really right on the money for pretty much the whole thing, and there was a couple songs I didn't even have to change a lot of the edits he made. So we worked really well together, and he just nailed it. Tell me words, everything that you feel. We try to incorporate
electronic like beats and synths, warped pianos and whatnot into our music. And every time I'm writing a song, I consciously think of a way that I can add something in there that would kind of freshen up the sound. That's what it is to me. It freshens up the sound. So doing that live, I don't want to do a ton of that because I don't want to become an electronic kind of crossover band. That's not really my goal here. But when we do that live, it's difficult. We've had to do kind of a ghetto rig with an iPod, and we're probably going to still have to do that for a while. But we have a sampling pad in there, DTX12, it's great. We have a bunch of sub drops on there, some beats, a couple loops that we have in a couple songs, and just random ambient things that are, what the heck was that kind of sound, that are programmed onto that thing. And that's always been something that's been awesome to me. I've seen bands do that, and that's something I've really tried to incorporate. What I tell people when they ask me what does Lines in the Sky sound like, I say it's an alternative progressive band. That what we do is we write the melodies to be, we try our best to make them catchy, and the lyric as well. But as far as the guitars and the drums, I want it to be just like this progressive playing that's not too over the edge, you know, but it's something that you didn't really think of. And instead of just playing chords as the rhythm accompaniment, we write almost contrapuntal music, and the parts will play off of each other. And instead of like this static chord strumming thing, we have this morphing kind of chord base that is very much organic. When we're talking about what we want this band, the music specifically, to say to people, you kind of have to look at the composition of the music. For me personally, I'd like for other musicians to look at this music and be like, that's really neat. I wouldn't have thought of that. And that's kind of one of the main things I have in mind whenever I'm writing the music. So whenever we go out and play it, the musicians will say that. But I want everybody else to just kind of like be like, whoa, that was really cool. But I want them to be able to get into it too. So I guess the answer to that is we want this music to just kind of hit the people and be like, this is something different. This is progressive, and it's not chuggity chug metal or crazy tremolo picking, but it's very musical, and it's intense, and we want you to just kind of have your brain rocked by it.